pretty much good one. Thank you. Pretty common challenges. But for me personally, I just want to add this one here, and I want you guys to really help me with this too. My challenge related to IELTS writing task too is basically, sometimes you know what you have to say. You well prepared, but then when it comes to the test, you kind of like forget all those structures. And oh, I forgot this. I forgot this linking words. I forgot. I should have used this. I want to write that word, but I forget what word is that. And I was like using the synonyms during the time that I want to use it, but I forget all of this word. So those are my challenges really during the test. So I hope you can help me answer those questions later on in the next question. How can I really make use of my brain at the time of the test? Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. All right, guys, just to remind you all, if you have the questions, you can always leave us the comment right there. So at the end of the session, we will try to answer all of your questions right there. Thank you so much. So moving on to the next thing, which is about the tips and strategies, the things that we're looking for to get a higher score as you guys. So let's go. I'm excited for this point here. Kema, you want to go first? Let's
Okay,
go.
so my personal tips would be to familiarize ourselves with different types of topics. Especially, you need to know that what kind of topics that normally appear in IELTS writing test too. According to what I have seen and also research, my experience is taking IELTS like 6 times. Always getting ready for the IELTS. There would be like 12 topics you should pay attention to. They can be about environment, science, technology, yeah, the same thing, media, education, employment, globalization, health, animals, country or city, okay, countryside or city, family, law, order, and also sport and recreation. So my tips would be to familiarize ourselves with these things, with these topics, and how. The question is how. By creating a habit of reading every day. Yeah. So you may start from reading news or articles or just websites on the internet related to those big topics, so that if you ever happen to meet any one of those, you wouldn't be too shocked. Yeah. Let's say I know that I kind of like with fashion. So because I know that I'm not very good at this, I might read more articles related to fashion or let's say sports. Yeah. So create the habit of reading every day. Familiarize yourself with the topics that normally appear in iWriting test too, and I think work on your grammar. To me, before I start iWriting test too, I would brainstorm. I spend some time to brainstorm to write my main ideas, and then I would also write a quick note to remind myself to work on grammatical range. Yeah, let's say I need to use complete sentences, compound complete sentences, and modal verb or passive voice. Don't just use active voice. Put a question or put conditional. Yeah, so I write like the quick test note I can, and I also write synonym to remind myself to use a variety of words. Yeah, to show off your vocabulary range a little bit. And you should also practice writing, especially if you're a student. Write as much as you can and get them corrected by your teachers or by someone with higher English ability than you are. I think that would be helpful. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you so much, Kema. Tania, it's your time. What you have here? Let's go.
I think regarding the tips or strategy to score high in IELTS, I think you have to go back to the main criteria that we discussed earlier. So the first one has to do with the words, the vocabulary. So as you know that writing task 2 is a formal essay, so you have to use formal words. So what are formal words? Formal words are academic words. You can find academic words list, yeah, on the internet easily, or you can look at the books, IELTS book. For example, instead of saying car, you might say automobiles, right? Instead of saying tell, you might say inform, buy, purchase. Instead of saying talk, you may say have a discussion, have a conversation, or communicate. And the second strategy is always try to use different structure. For example, you might say someone stole my car, and next time you might say my car was stolen. So do not repeat your sentences. Try to use different kind of structure, and also try to use linking words because it's the cohesion. Try to furthermore, however, although, and make sure you answer all the questions. Make sure you have introductions, body paragraph, and the conclusions. Because some people they spend too much time on the introduction that they don't have time to write a conclusion, or they don't hit the word limit. So in IELTS writing task 2, if you write below 250 or 240, the examiner will deduct your score. And try to avoid using phrasal verbs or idioms because those are used in spoken language or informal written communication. So those are the things that I think are important.
Right. I used some phrasal verb. That's the reason I don't get good score. I just realized this. Thank you so much. All right, Chania and Kemma, that's pretty good. So overall, the tips and strategies to get a higher band score in your IELTS writing task 2, as mentioned, and we got a lot of chats right there, so keep your questions coming in. So here we have to familiarize your the topic, and Kemma has listed down what can be the topics that you can, or themes that you can look at so that you can do more research on those topics. And then we also, it's good to start brainstorming before you start your writing. I received a lot of questions related to brainstorming. Is it bad to never brainstorm? And how much time do we need to spend on brainstorming? We'll answer your question later on. Thank you. And then we're talking about the use of academic vocabulary. It's pretty good to use synonyms and also linking words, which is coherent, which is cohesion right there, or connector. And also make sure that you also try to include variety or complex or compound sentences to make sure that you are having quite grammatical range for your writing right there. So pretty good point. Very precise to me. But the question is, how can I maintain that quality during my test? During my practice, it's pretty okay, but during the test, it's complicated. We will figure it out here. Thank you so much. So moving on to the next stage here, we are talking about the resources that you recommend us to improve. Is there any ways that we can develop all of those things that you mentioned, that we need to work on our brainstorming, we need to familiarize ourselves with different topics, and also maybe the use of vocabulary and grammar. So how can I do all of those things right now? So, Johnny or Kemma, we would like to...
I will pass this question to Wang Jianli because he has a lot of resources.
That's a lot of resources.
So talking about the resources, especially during the pandemic, the internet is the best source of information and knowledge. I found a few websites very useful in providing samples and lessons about writing task 1 and task 2. Especially task 2. So those websites are IELTS Buddy, DUDDY, IELTS Advantage, and websites. You could look at the topics, and you can do the practice, and after that you can compare your writing with the writing sample. But don't feel bad. Don't feel bad after looking at their writing sample. You can't compare yourself with the expert, but over the course of time you will get better. And there's another website, I think it's by the University of Cambridge. It's called writeandimprove.com. Writeandimprove.com. So in this website, you can create an account and you can browse through the writing task two topics, and you can write your answers to the questions. And after that, you check your answers, and they will provide you with automatic feedback. And they make suggestions, and you can change to your writing, and you could save your progress. And next time when you write another essay, they will compare how far you have gone or how much development you have made in your writing. So I think that's a good one here, writeandimprove.com.
Very good. I've never visited those websites. That's the reason. I think we should. Now we know we should go there. So, okay, cool. Is that all, Mr. Chania? That's pretty good. That's a lot already. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's it. Somebody mentioned IELTS list. Yeah, I think that's a good one too. And she also
IELTS list. Yes.
Yeah,
Always see her.
Yeah, she also has a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
If you don't understand what she wrote, you could listen to her for further explanations.
To me, I love E2 language. Yeah, I even followed them on YouTube.
So, what you try to let us know here is basically visit the common website and useful website. And again, it's about start your writing. Yes, to improve your writing is to start writing, right? Just like speaking.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's pretty simple like this, for sure, those are the things that you can get the feedback from, and that's what we have. But then, what about in general? What about writing in general? What would you recommend to your students or to all learners if they want to get better, with their writing? Besides those IELTS website, what else should they do? Basically.
Okay, I will go with this question. So, in order to improve writing, you need to read a lot. Yeah.
Sure.
Expand your knowledge first on different topics. Read every day. I know everyone is busy, but helps spare 30 minutes a day to read something useful. Don't just be on social media all the time. So create a habit of reading every day, and then you should have a vocabulary notebook. When you read and you see some cool or interesting vocab, you may write them down. And you search dictionary, you write the definitions, and you learn more vocabulary as a family. Example, what is it? Adjective, noun, adverb. Example, beautiful, adjective. Adverb, what is it? Beautifully, verb, beautify, noun, beauty, something like this. So you expand your vocabulary range. And work on your grammar. And perhaps you should have a diary. But to me, I don't do diary thing. I feel like it's a very childish. But if you want to improve your writing, you write every day. You may talk about your experience of that day. What happened? What did you do? Was it a good day or not? Something like this. Yeah.
And post it on Facebook. Yes.
Maybe not too much. Just put only me. Because
only me.
Yeah.
That helps.
The more you expose yourself, the more people judge you. So.
Aww, come on. All right. Thank you, Kemma. That's a pretty good tip. Write every day, and what had happened to you, put it there into your personal story, and only me. Thank you.
Yeah, and expand your vocabulary range and work on your grammar.
Sure. Thank you. And Janir, let's go. As well.
I think a lot of people want to improve their writing, but they hate studying grammar. So as
I
people,
love grammar.
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah, as we know that studying grammar is a bit boring, but you can't avoid it if you want to improve your writing. So you have to study the mainstream traditional grammar in a traditional classroom and try to get a grammar book and try to do exercises and improve. And yeah, as Kema said, you are asked to write, to produce a piece of writing. If you don't have ideas, you can't do it. So in order to get ideas, you need to read. And when you read, you don't just get ideas, you also learn about grammatical structure and vocabulary. When you learn vocabulary, don't just learn word by words. Try to learn by chunk. For example, notice they write interested in like the phrases. For example, build connection with. So when you learn chunks by chunk, when you use them in your writing, you use them correctly. But if you just learn, for example, connections, you don't know how to use it. But if you learn like build connections with, it's more useful.
Oh, and I know if you love reading and you want to improve your writing, let's say you read an article or a book and then you do a personal summary of that article or that book. By doing so, you can also improve your writing skill. Yeah, just like speaking, if you want to improve writing, you need to start writing. Right?
Right,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
Essential.
And we never do that. That's the sad part. Relative thoughts.
No, if you study, you will have a lot of assignments and you will write a lot. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much, Janir and Kama, talking about the resources right here. I believe you all get a lot of ideas from our talented speakers right here. Thank you so much. Personally, we understand all of those resources. We know the points that we have to do. But what about you guys personally? I believe I want to learn more from you. What activities that you do frequently to really improve your writing skills? Don't tell me that you were born with the skill, okay? Let's go. Okay, cool. Let's go right there. Janita, I think you may take the floor. I feel like Kemma want to say, but I'm sorry, Kemma.
Yeah, for me, I read every day. I read the news article, online article. I read the BBC, Associated Press, or the Guardian. So once you read, you will know more about the world, the issues that people are facing every day. When you take the exam, those topics come from what we are facing in our everyday life. They don't just come out of nowhere. When you familiarize yourself with those issues, I'm sure nothing will prevent you from scoring high in IELTS. And another thing that I do before the exam, because people don't practice writing every day unless they prepare for the exam. Before the I usually look at the topics and I practice my writing, and then I have someone whose English is better than mine, just to have them look and give me some feedback, and I could edit my writing. And I also study from the sample writing to see if there are any phrases, like useful phrases that I could learn from. But don't steal the ideas. I mean, don't try to memorize the ideas from the essays, hoping that the same topic will appear in your exam. But try to learn phrases, like useful phrases.
Okay. That's good. So you do a lot of reading, and you may read every single day. And the way I think that also answers the question we have here, which is what should we read? And Jania mentioned it's reading newspaper. He's reading newspaper, news article, and different types of sample writing from others, good writers, right there. Thank you so much, Mr. Janier. And what about you, Kemma? Personally, what do you usually do to improve your score right here?
Yeah, I would say reading. I love reading, but not all the topics, only the topics that interest me. Yeah. So yeah, I read, and because I was doing my thesis, so somehow I was required to read a lot, and reading academic articles or papers also help improve my writing a lot, especially my latest IELTS. Yeah, I think my writing band really improved because of my thesis. Yeah, because I had to read a lot, and not just like any articles, but academic articles, and I could also learn new vocab. And because I was doing my thesis, I had to write, right? Yeah, so writing for months somehow also prepare me for the IELTS writing test.
Wow. You should be grateful for your lecturer, for your professor.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so reading and writing, that really, really helps a lot right there. I believe that comes to almost the end of the session. Thank you so much, Kama and Jania, for all of those, amazing ideas, and also very, very helpful advices that you guys give to us here. Thank you so much. I believe we jump to the next stage, which is our Q&A session. I'm afraid that we almost running out of time as well for the last 15 minutes we have here. So thank you, everybody. This is such a great insightful discussion so far. And there are so many ideas that I have newly learned from you two, Jania and Kema. But I'm afraid that we don't have much time, so we need to answer some of the questions we got from our audience for today in the chat. So let's address them one by one, shall we? Starting with the first question I have here is related to, I would like to start with brainstorming. Can you help us clarify the points here? First, how much time should I need to work on my brainstorming in the real test? Let's go. I believe we can get it from...
Can I go first?
Yes, Kema, let's go.
It actually depends on how fast or slowly you think, but I think the longest should be 2 minutes. Yeah. Do not go more than 2 minutes, because you only have 40 minutes to do a writing task. That has to be at least 250, but 265 words is preferable. So think fast, take out the piece of paper with your pen or pencil, and you brainstorm. Introduction, make sure to have a thesis statement. Yeah. And then perhaps general statement, and then you may add, you may tell your audience about what your writing will talk about, will discuss about, and then you may add a question in the introduction, and then boom, you move on to body. You put body one, and then you draw some lines, and you put the main ideas and some short examples, and then you move on to conclusion. Make sure to use a transition to tell your reader that this is the concluding part, and then you may summarize the main ideas, and then you may add your opinion, or you may give recommendations or hopes or fears regarding the topic. Yeah.
Very good.
It's just 2 minutes at most. Yeah.
All right, 2 minutes at most. So keep practicing until you reach that 2 minutes. Thank you so much. And Jania, another question is about: is it really bad to never brainstorm?
I don't think it's a bad idea if you are pro.
Identify the topic is important.
If you are a quick thinker, because I never brainstorm when I do the writing. Because when I took the test for the first time, I spent probably 3 or 4 minutes brainstorming, and I ran out of time. And after that, I never do the brainstorming. I have ideas in my mind. I have mapping in my mind. So I don't do the brainstorming. I just know where to put the ideas. But I think for some people, if they're not sure, they could just spend probably
Identify the topic
1 or
is
2 minutes
important as
just
well, because
list down the main
you might
idea,
do wrong
what you think you
topic, you
should
may get lost.
put first, and yeah.
That's it. Very good. Thank you. Yes,
I would like to butt in here. Everyone, brainstorm. Brainstorming is very important, especially when you take IELTS. You may have a lot of ideas going on. You are busy thinking and writing, and then boom,
boom.
Things start to get messy, and then your ideas are all over the place, and then you don't know what you are writing about or what you will be writing next, or you may have redundancy, like repetition all over the place.
It's important as
So
well, because
if you're afraid of like not having enough time, maybe 1 minute, spend quickly, and then boom, start
Agree.
writing.
Thank you so much, Kemma. Kemma, you are showing us the talent right now. You really have the ideas to really project it that right there in just a minute. So now you're showing us your talent right now. I know it. Thank you so much, Anir. And Kemma, it's really personal one. So do what worked best for you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
And the next thing is about, we understand the use of vocabulary. You mentioned about using academic words and all that. And the question that we received is related to phrasal verb, and I believe we got some answer as well. Some phrasal verb are, can be used in the writing, while others are not really recommended. So it doesn't mean that all the phrasal verb cannot be used, but you have to really, consider which one you need to use in your writing. And the question that we got, it's pretty interesting, and it's also, I really believe a lot of us have the challenge as well, which is related to, in real tests, I know a lot of vocabularies, but I cannot use it. Like sometimes I know most of the words, but remember the topic that we have is not related to what we've known. So how can we really do well in that case with the use of good vocabulary?
I think let me start, but with topics we are familiar with first. Let's say you're familiar with education. So when you see this topic, spend some time quickly, write all the synonyms. Some synonyms related to education, maybe about schooling, instruction, lecturing, something like that.
That's right.
So when you write those synonyms, you somehow also remind yourself to use cool and advanced vocab.
Very good.
Yes.
Good. I think that's pretty good. Yes. So topic, and then you learn vocabulary based on the theme, so that whenever it comes to that one, you really get to some idea what words.
Because when you see the topic, you kind of already know what kind of words you will be used in your writing. So you may write those big and cool words, big fancy words on the draft paper, so that when you do the writing, typing or handwriting, you know that, oh, these are the words that I should use to boost the band.
That's right, Kemma. Thank you so much. Janir, need your help. I want you to help us clarify the point that we mentioned about writing tasks, but there are so many different question types we have in our writing task too, right? It can be advantages, disadvantages, agree and disagree. And a lot of questions from our audience is they don't know the structure and how can they deal with this problem.
Okay.
It's a big one, though. Can I just give you only 2 minutes for this, please? Let's go.
Okay. Let's talk about the most frequent one. So I think the most frequent question type that I have seen is, to what extent do you agree or disagree, or do you agree or disagree with the following statement? So in this kind of questions, you need to say, do you agree? Why? And then give reason 1, 2, 3. Do you disagree? Why? Give the reason 1, 2, 3. We have introduction and the conclusion. Or do you agree partly or disagree partly? Why? And the advantages and disadvantages structure, I think it's pretty straightforward. You have the introduction and have the advantages 1, advantage 2, and then disadvantage 1, disadvantage 2, and then you have the conclusion. And regarding the problem solution essay, you could come up with the introduction and then problem 1, problem 2, problem 3, solution 1, 2, 3. Or you could just put problem and solution together. Problem 1, solution 1, one paragraph, and then paragraph 2, solution 2, problem 3, solution 3, and then the conclusion.
That's right. There's going to be a lot of details we need right here, right, related to all the essay types that you have mentioned. Within one session, I'm afraid that we cannot put it all in here. We understand everyone eager to know everything just to boost their score. We understand that, but you need patience, you need practices, and you need hard work right there, everybody. But really, really appreciate everyone's participation for today, and also our wonderful speaker for today, Jania and Kema, for all of your ideas and critical advice right there. Thank you so much. So my last word to this one, everybody, is it's pretty good to really learn all of those essay types and really work on the structure. Whenever it comes to one type, it requires one structure. So you need to study based on the structure, based on the themes, and practice makes perfect. That's it. So I just want to say thanks again, everyone, for your active participation with all the questions right there. And I leave you with one last question because I don't want to leave without this one, which is, if I want to take IELTS test, am I required to take the paper-based or computer-delivered test, or do I have the choice with this? Can you help us give me the answer with this one here? Anyway, maybe Kema? Kema, help me with this?
It's your choice.
It's your
especially
choice.
if you pay by yourself, you choose.
you pay. So it's our choice, okay?
Yeah. But computer-based takes shorter time to get your result, around 3 to 5 working days. But for paper-based, it may take up to 2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay, so it's an advantage right there. You can consider it's your choice. You have the option either to choose computer delivered test or the paper-based test. So which one is better to you? You choose it. So I'm afraid we're running out of time right now. Thanks again, everyone, for your active participation with your questions and comments about learning English. If you would like to learn more, there will be a tip sharing session every week at 9 a.m. So look out on our ACE Facebook page for more information and registration link. We also would like to inform you all about our upcoming term 3 at ACE, which will start on 13 July. So if you wish to further your education and gain more effective English learning experience, ACE must be the right place for you. We offer placement tests for new students every day, and you can also enroll in one of our courses ranging from children's program, young learners program, general English program, diploma in English, and IELTS orientation and preparation course by simply visiting one of our 6 campuses, which is close to your place. For now, thank you so much, Kema and Jania, and the rest of everyone to participation for today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we hope to see you in our class next time. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Peace out.
Peace.
Kim, I hope you stay here. Okay. All right. Oh, we got one participant, Korean name. Annyeong, Kamsahamnida. Right, and also different places right there. Thank you.